I literally do not care how attractive you are. Being the ugly friend sucks. I just watched a video of a young lady who was beautiful to me. She looked pretty. She was a pretty girl. And she was complaining about being the ugly friend. And that goes to show you, like I was saying in my last video about this topic and about me being the ugly friend in my friend group, that it doesn't matter. It sucks. It's demoralizing. It beats you down. There's something about going out with your friends, going out, weekend after weekend, whatever. And whether that, and going out, pause, doesn't mean the clubs, like just even out to dinner. And you don't get approached and your friends are getting approached. It is like literally like, it's like a sign from the universe that you are ugly. And you start to feel ugly. During that time, I would legitimately complain to my friends and tell them, like, you guys are just so much better looking than me. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, nobody wants to approach me. None of the guys are trying to talk to me. They just try to talk to all of my friends. And I would explain this to them, and they'll just be like, Miss Store, what are you talking about? Like, da 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 da. And they just don't get it. They just don't get it that, like, they are so pretty that my beauty just doesn't shine next to them.
I'm an attractive woman, period. And anytime I come on social media talking about a topic regarding attraction, I always get a couple people that are like, you're not that attractive, you're not that pretty or that cute, you're not the right messenger for the topic. What people fail to realize is that attraction is deeper than just my looks. Attraction is deeper than just how somebody's face looks to you. You can have your opinion. Everybody doesn't have to think I'm beautiful. Nobody has to believe I'm attractive for me to be attractive. Attraction isn't just about bringing a man into my life or how many men find me pretty. It's more so about how easily can I manifest the things that I want and desire in my life. How easily can I garner attention just for being myself? Like, are people attracted to your aura, your light, your personality, what you do, what you don't do, what you say, how you speak, how you smell? Like, there's so much that goes into attraction other than looks that you can't just look at somebody and say, like, oh, you're not pretty, so you're not attractive. I don't like your face. I don't like how you look, so you must not be attractive. That's very low IQ of you to believe that attraction is really just, oh, I like her face or I don't like it.
Before we dive in, drop a comment. Are modern men more delusional, or is it the ladies? Hit like and subscribe so you don't miss what we expose next. All right, this is a loaded topic, and it's one that cuts deeper than a lot of people want to admit. The clip starts by pointing out something that's been happening in plain sight, yet few talk about: the perception and treatment of dark-skinned women in the dating world. Now, notice this. The women mentioned here are considered dark-skinned in cultural terms, and let's be real, this isn't just a U.S. phenomenon. Across the globe, dark-skinned women are often unfairly tagged as less feminine, less desirable, or even masculine. Men in media, sports, and entertainment often follow this subconscious bias. You hear it in passing, from comedians to reality TV. Cat Williams even points it out when talking about athletes and the package deal of dating. There's this unspoken rule: to reach a man with status or visibility, you better be light-skinned. And here's the kicker: you'll often see dark-skinned women orbiting around lighter-skinned friends, whether to shield themselves or as some unspoken form of competition. There's this social tension that rarely gets dissected, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to self-value. Women, just like men, measure themselves through the lens of attention. How many likes, how many DMs, how many people approach them. And if the attention isn't there, some internalize it as rejection, as a signal that they're not good enough, rather than stepping into the arena themselves. Here's the reality check. Personality and accountability matter far more than mere looks. Angie Stone calls it out perfectly. Men often settle for a 5 if she's kind, humble, and genuinely good-hearted. Why? Because most women who get constant validation, the ones deemed hot by societal standards, rarely feel the need to develop depth. Why work on humility, emotional intelligence, or kindness when the world is constantly telling you you're perfect just as you are? Meanwhile, the women who aren't constantly approached, the ones society labels less attractive, have a hidden advantage. They learn over time the value of character, patience, and self-improvement. And when they go out on their own, free from the noise of friends or social competition, they often become exactly the kind of partner men are desperately looking for. Someone with substance, someone who's real, someone who radiates accountability and humility. Here's the truth nobody wants to say. The dating game isn't just about looks, it's about effort, strategy, and emotional intelligence. Being overlooked doesn't make you ugly, it just means you have to work a little differently. Go out, take initiative, develop your personality, and men will notice, always. Now, let's see what Angie Stone had to say about this, because her take is one of the rare voices that calls out the shallow game and puts personality on a pedestal where it belongs.
I would say, most real guys are looking for someone that's a good friend first. I think I'm everybody's big sister. And after they're around me long enough, this is that Sagittarius thing kind of takes over, and they get to know the inside of the person, and they start to look at, she's a beautiful sister. And I think that most of them are just in love with the idea of, she's good people. So I think that most of the handsome guys that should be running after the Beyoncés of the world, a lot of them just don't want, when you get, those are side chicks for guys. When you're absolutely drop dead gorgeous, I had Spoonie G tell me one time, I don't want no girl that's too fine, because my head will be hurting all the time. I'll be stressed out, because these are the chicks that that everybody's after. So you will get no peace.
Man, she hit it on the head. And this is a lesson a lot of young women don't want to hear, but they desperately need it. Some women are so attractive that attention becomes almost like a drug. Think about it. Constant messages, constant validation, endless competition, social media DMs, random guys in the streets. It never stops. And over time, it creates this cycle where no one ever seems good enough. The constant affirmation becomes addictive. The problem, it blinds them to real connection. Here's the reality check. When a woman is constantly being pursued, the standard for attention becomes unrealistically high. She gets so used to the chase, the excitement, and the ego strokes that the idea of slowing down, committing, or settling into a real relationship seems almost boring. That's not just a personality flaw. It's a product of modern culture, social media, and high validation. And until she develops a sense of self beyond this endless attention, she's trapped in a cycle of superficial pleasure, disguised as happiness. Now, contrast that with women who aren't constantly chased, the one society calls unattractive. There's a hidden advantage there. These women often develop patience, humility, and an understanding of genuine connection. They learn to cultivate character, kindness, and loyalty traits that men actually value in the long term. And when a man invests in a woman like that, he isn't competing with an endless parade of suitors or fighting to keep her attention. He's getting respect, care, and consistency. Let's be real. Men can have fun with the hot women. Sure, the excitement is undeniable. But those relationships are rarely built on stability, trust, or mutual growth. The attractive addict is constantly scanning for attention, validation, and the next thrill. Meanwhile, the woman who may have been overlooked early on, the one who shows humility, accountability, and kindness, becomes the type of partner that builds a real life with you. She's not a headline. She's the foundation. This is why men should stop chasing the superficial and start recognizing the substance that often comes with what society undervalues. The lesson here. Stop worrying about Instagram metrics or what the world deems beautiful. Look for character. Look for loyalty. Look for the woman who treats you like a king, not just someone to chase her ego. That's the ultimate win. All right, I've got another clip lined up where a young lady digs into this even further. Let's break it down and see what truths come next.
Y'all, I just seen the weirdest video on TikTok, and this is why I say women, birds.
So basically this girl, she made a video. She was like, when you feel bad that it's girls' night out and you're the only friend that doesn't get hit on by any man, but you realize it's because guys are lusting after them. And it is a whole bunch of birds in the comments talking about yeah, exactly. Like, I used to feel bad and feel jealous that I wasn't getting hit on. But I realize it's because dudes, they lusting after them and they only just want one thing from them. Gee, y'all have a problem. You have a problem. And the fact that there's a whole bunch of females trying to make themselves feel better in the comments talking about exactly that. Like, the fact that you feel jealous or feel some kind of way because a man not hitting on you when you go out and your friends getting hit on, that means you're insecure. If you had internal validation, you wouldn't even be peeping stuff like that. You wouldn't even be caring about stuff like that because you know that you that. And it's like women put themselves in competition in a sense because you basically trying to make it seem like, oh, you know, the dudes, they just want to F them. First of all, when a man approaches a woman, he don't know you. So how he gonna like you? He's attracted to you. And 9 times out of 10, 99.9% of the time, when you have a man on your line, like you got hundreds of dudes in your DMs trying to get on that, they want to crack. That's most of the time. Like, so you think that if one dude hit on you that night, that means he wanted to take you serious. Y'all are slow. Very slow. Seek help. This is why I say it's a scary world. It's a scary world because you got women that think like this, and there's so many of them, G. Stay safe.
Here's the truth that a lot of women don't want to admit. Men approach women because they're attracted to them. Plain and simple. That's the starting point. Attraction drives behavior, not personality, not conversation skills, not hashtags or filters. Unless a man knows you from work, school, or some consistent environment where your character can shine through. Most interactions are purely based on surface-level appeal. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Being ugly, as society labels it, can actually be a blessing in disguise. Why? Because if you aren't getting constant attention, you're forced to develop the things that really matter. Personality, emotional, intelligence, kindness, accountability, skills that make a woman genuinely magnetic long-term. Instead of just a pretty face caught in a perpetual cycle of validation. Think about it. How often do you see women getting upset, asking, how could he choose her over me? Or why are all these so-called ugly women getting married while I'm not? This isn't some cosmic joke. It's a cultural truth. Men are drawn to substance when the superficial options are overexposed, overplayed, and emotionally unavailable. The woman who takes the time to develop herself, who's not addicted to attention, often ends up with a man who actually values her. She becomes the woman who builds a real life, not just a highlight reel. So here's the takeaway. If you feel less attractive compared to friends or societal standards, don't panic. Don't internalize it as a deficiency. It's actually an opportunity. Use that energy to build yourself, your mind, your personality, your sense of purpose. That's what wins in the long run. That's the kind of woman men respect, cherish, and commit to. Ladies, it's all about perspective. Look at your situation objectively. Work on what you can control. Develop what others overlook, and the rest will fall into place. Because in the game of attraction and life, substance always beats flash in the long term. Drop your thoughts in the comments, like, share, and subscribe, because the next videos are going to keep exposing these patterns and truths you won't hear anywhere else. Stick around, absorb it, and apply it, because this isn't just commentary, it's actionable wisdom.